Welcome, Bethel citizens and other interested viewers, to an overview of the 2016 school budget for the Bethel School District. My name is Tim Brennan, and I've been asked by the Bethel School Board to provide this overview of the anticipated budget and its anticipated impact on your tax rate. Thank you from all of us for taking the time to familiarize yourself with this important information. So this form is the form that school districts use to summarize their budgetary numbers and to calculate, according to the Vermont formula, the impact or the anticipated impact on taxes. There are a lot of numbers on this form, and I want to go through it carefully and highlight some of the most important numbers so you have a sense of how we came to both our budget and the tax rate. The first number I want to highlight is the number in the upper right-hand corner, simple number 1.00. This is the recommended homestead rate from the tax commissioner, set at $1, and this is up last year from last year's number of $0.98 or 98 cents. In short, what that means is that the base tax rate has gone up by 2 cents from last year. This is something set by the tax commissioner. It is not a number that any local school district can control, but it obviously has an impact on the tax rate. So just so we are clear from the outset, for our tax rate to be exactly the same as last year, our budget would have had to have incorporated cuts deep enough to compensate for that 2-cent increase. The next set of numbers I'd like us to look at are our expenditures, and if we jump down here to line 7, we see a number of $5,458,498. That's actually in two pieces. There's a piece which is a significant portion, virtually all of our expenditures for the year, minus a $25,000 separate line item that we're going to be asking the town to vote on separately for establishing a building reserve fund. It is our hope that both of these are accepted, and the overall budget number, the amount that the expenditures for the year will be $5,458,498. I want to take this opportunity to compare that to last year's number and note that last year's number was just about exactly $40,000 higher. This year's expenditures are down by $40,000. I've scrolled down the page a little bit to kind of look at the next set of numbers here, which allow us a chance to look at revenues and at equalized students and the spending per equalized student. So let's take those in turn. The first number is our anticipated revenues for next year, line 10, $771,000 in anticipated revenues, which is a sum of numbers, but mostly dependent upon tuition numbers for students coming from other school districts. That is down by over $200,000 from last year, and if you look at the numbers from the previous several years, you'll see that that is a fairly volatile number, a number that's hard to predict and can change even during the school year. But at this moment, it looks like our revenues will be down by that $200,000 amount. So that's unfortunate, and though our expenditures are down, our revenues are down even more so. And so our overall spending, line 14, our overall spending is at $4,687,000, which is up from last year's 4,510,000. So our spending is up. At the same time, we have increased our number of students, our number of equalized students, equalized pupils. And on line 15, you can see we're going from basically 279 students to close to 289 students. The portions of students is a sort of an artifact of the way that that number is calculated. So we're up by 10 or so students. Our spending is up by a little bit. And I think maybe the most important number to think about here in this segment is that compared to last year, our spending per equalized student is up from 16,168,000 to 16,243,000. So this year's spending per equalized student is up by $80, which is 0.5%. So I know people are interested in making sure that costs are maintained, and I think that this number of an increase of just 0.5% in terms of our spending per equalized pupil is, I think, a good faith gesture on the part of the administration and the board to keep costs in line. Having looked at expenditures and revenues, and then the final impact on the spending per equalized pupil. The last bit of the calculation is to figure out the anticipated tax rate. The number, the spending per equalized pupil, is the sort of amount of money that we need to finance. First, some good news here. There's a threshold in some small type there between lines 24 and 25. There's a sort of penalty number that districts are encouraged to stay underneath, and that equalized spending per pupil is at 17,100, and we're well below that, so we are not in the penalty phase. There are some adjustments that get made, including down here at line 31, the common level of appraisal, which is at almost 112%. And that common level of appraisal, along with some other adjustments, brings our overall tax rate down to here in line 32. It brings it down to $1.53 and 47 hundredths of a penny. So 1.5347, which is up from last year's $1.50. So essentially 3.5 cents more, maybe not quite 3.5 cents more. 2 cents of which we need to remember are beyond our control. That was the 2 cents that we spoke about right at the beginning of this form that was set by the state tax assessor. Here we are at the bottom line with an anticipated impact on our taxes of $1.53.5. So we hope that this has been informative and helpful for you. We urge you to show up on the town meeting day and the school meeting in the evening, and please come out and vote and be part of the conversation. Thank you very much.